I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'll lead you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets which you can download in US letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best be prepared for your exam, and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel and share out the videos. And now we're going to make a start on the 2019 paper S. So if you turn with me to page 15 in your 2019 grade 1 practice paper booklet, we'll make a start on that. So this is a specimen paper. No one ever actually sat this exam in 2019. The ABRSM have just added this in as an extra paper that they've made up to give you a bit more revision and exam practice. So now we'll go on to question 1, where we're asked to add missing bar lines to these two melodies. So there's two separate melodies with two separate time signatures. Be careful you don't get confused and think it's a continuation. It changes time signature. It's a new thing here. It's got double bar lines as well to show you that. So we're counting 4 crotchet beats per bar. They've given us the first one to help us. We know that a minim divides into 2 beats. 1, 2, there. Here we have 2 quavers, 2 eighth notes which are half a beat each. So a half plus a half makes 1. A half plus a half makes 1. So there's our 1, 2, 3, 4 beats. So we know that a minim is worth 2 beats. So there's a 1, there's a 1. You could just add up to 2 if you like. And then half as much again. So half of 2 is 1. So that gives us another beat. We know that actually a dotted minim is worth 3 beats. So we have 1, 2, 3. And then this is a crotchet beat or a quarter note rest, which is worth 1 beat. So there is our 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our bar line. And we know that these are half a beat each, so a half plus a half is 1. Half a beat plus half a beat is another 1. There's a beat, crotchet beat, there's a crotchet beat, so a quarter note, a quarter note. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our bar line. And we know that that's a semi-breve or a whole note which is worth 4 beats. So that's a complete bar on its own. And if it is that you get a little bit lost, you could always work backwards, knowing that that's 1 complete bar. Put your bar line and work backwards that way. The double bar line tells us that this bar is complete, and so we're okay to work backwards from there. Let's look at the next question. So now we're only adding up to 2 beats per bar. Now here we know that a quaver or an eighth note is worth half a beat, and then the dot after that is worth half as much again, and half of a beat is a quarter. So altogether that makes 3/4 of a beat. Now if you find that difficult, maths is not my strongest subject, so I prefer to visualise it. And so what I do, there's a beat, we'll divide it into half and quarters. So a quaver or an eighth note is worth half a beat, and then half of that gives us another quarter, so we've got 3/4 of a beat now. And then here's our remaining quarter of a beat, and they beam together to show 1 beat. So 1, 2 bar line. So a half and a half gives us 1, and there's another beat. So there's our next bar, 1, 2, and again, oh, make that fit the stave. There we go. And now here we have a half a beat, a quarter of a beat, a quarter of a beat, a quaver and 2 semis, a half and 2 quarters, Again, if you can see, a half, a quarter and a quarter gives us 1 beat, and it's beamed to show 1 beat. And then a half plus a half gives us a beat. So there's beat 1, there's beat 2, bar line. Now here we have a crotchet which is worth 1 beat, a quarter note, 1 beat. A half of that again, so a half of 1 is a half, so that's 1.5 beats now. And then this quaver is our remaining half, so 1.5 plus a half makes 2. There's our bar line, and then 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's our bar complete. And we know we've not gone wrong because the last bar adds up correctly. If this last bar doesn't work out, you know you've gone wrong somewhere in the middle. So still thinking about time values, but now we're going to be looking at filling in bars by adding rests. So we're asked to add a rest in the places marked with a star to make each bar complete. So before we do that, we need to know what each bar should actually contain. So we should, in this first one, have 3 beats in a bar. However, the next one isn't a continuation, there's a new time signature, so just watch out there. So we have 1 beat here, we have 1 beat here, we've got 2 beats, there should be 3, and so we have 1 beat missing. And so a 1 beat rest, a crotchet or a quarter note rest, is this one. They're quite tricky to draw, they are. I just do a Z and put a C at the bottom. Sort of a vague wiggle, isn't it? So now pressing on, we have 1 beat here. Now let's just jump to the end of the bar. A half plus a half is 1, so there's 2. And then we've got a half here, so we have 2.5. We've only got half a beat left to fill in. And so half a beat is our quaver or 8th note rest. There we go. And then here, let's see what we've got here. We've got 1 beat here, and then I'm just going to jump to the end of the bar. A half plus a half gives us 1 beat. And then again, we've got some quarters of a beat here, so I'm just going to diagram this out. We have 1, 2, 3 quarters of a beat. So that gives us 3 quarters. We've only got quarter of a beat left. And so a quarter of a beat rest is the semiquaver or the 16th note. It's written the same as the quaver rest, but you put another arm on it to show like another beam. And there we go. So moving on to the next one. There should be 4 beats in a bar. We have a minim or a half note, which is worth 2. So we have the last half of the bar to complete. We need another 2 beats. And so this is the minim rest, just sitting on the middle line. That's your half note rest. Not to be confused here. Now there's 2 ways of answering this quickly. First of all, despite the fact that there's the 4 beats in a bar, the shorthand rest is this whole note rest. We'd put that in for a complete bar's rest no matter what the time signature. So whatever the time signature, even if technically it's too big, that is just always showing a complete bar's rest. But just while we were thinking about these 2, just as a little revision tip, we know that this is the 4 beat rest because it hangs off the 4th line. The 2 beat rest just sits on the middle line. So that now completes that question. I do hope that's helpful to you. We'll look at the next question in the next video. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. I hope that you're enjoying working through these questions. I'm certainly enjoying working through them with you. Please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available there to help you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.